Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I've been playing in my mark making journal and I've had so much fun with this. That's a really kind of cool filter for that. Anyway, if you would like to see how I did this, stay tuned. This is what this page actually looks like. This is the actual color. Let me tell you what I really love and some things I learned from this. I love how this turned out. I used some shape makers. One of them is just a little piece of foam that came from the bottom of a jewelry box that had jewelry in it. Another is a cardboard box that I cut the center out of to get sort of a grid or net pattern, which I really like. I love the circles here, and I just used a watercolor pencil for those. And then I used a spray bottle to put water on that and have it spread a little bit. I think it really adds a beautiful touch at the end to add the white paint splatters. And I just mixed white acrylic paint with some clean water. I'm really lazy sometimes and I use this dirty water, but for a bright white, it's nice to use clean water. Maybe there is something to choosing a color palette. Well, we know there already is something to that. That's nothing new. But mark making seems so wild, and it seems like, oh, you can just do whatever and it's going to be great. A lot of times that's true with the mark making, but this side and just that pleasing palette of colors, the orange and maybe some really pale yellow that got almost a green tint to it because of the blue paint, and the blues and the white, that is just a really pleasing color palette. Over here we have more colors. I think if I could do this again, I might stay away from this red right in this spot. I like the red diamonds on her dress, but I think if we had stayed just with, I don't know, maybe not going out to red, just my thoughts, just sharing these. The red letter Q for Queen of Diamonds. The red felt too heavy, and I didn't really show this in the video, but I did come back and add some little white dots over here with the Posca paint pen, and I do like that. If you're not comfortable drawing faces, which I didn't want to take the time today to draw a face, you can use magazine pages and cut out the parts that you want to use and then draw in the rest. I do love the way her hat turned out. I used a black Posca paint pen to get the outline, and then I used bright colors with Caran d'Ache crayons and the Stabilo 3-in-1. And then again, I sprayed water. Immediately I thought, oh, I shouldn't have used the Posca paint pen because that spread with it as well. I feel like this would be a whole lot brighter had I not done that. So that is something to consider, but I do like the way the hat turned out. Anyway, if you want to see just the whole long video of playing and how we got to this point, stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong, and I have my mark making journal out because I really want to get back into this. And I want to go ahead and say, I'm not doing this because I think I'm an expert in mark making. I'm doing it because I'm not an expert. And I really want to know more about, I don't know, if you feel like I do, I'm just intrigued by the fact that making marks on a page can add so much to it. And I don't know, we've always had abstract art. I mean, I guess it's always been around, but it seems like just suddenly one day there was this thing called mark making. Not yesterday, but you know, in the last, I don't know, I've noticed it in the last decade. Anyway, I'm not trying to be the expert. What I thought I would do with this would be a fun way to decorate an outfit if you just had a face to add to a page. Oh, so if anybody needs a blazer update, Blazer is officially ours. We took him to the vet yesterday and my hands are so dry. Oh my gosh, I've been cleaning this morning and washing my hands constantly, partly because Blazer's in the house. So we took Blazer to the vet yesterday and we took Vladimir. Vladimir is our biggest cat. We call Vladimir the Popo. Vlad's about 18 pounds and he's got a big personality. If anything, if the other cat starts acting up, he runs to every corner of the house to let everybody know you need to cool it. He looks at everybody in the face and says, that's enough. So he has just fallen in love with Blazer. and Blazer has fallen in love with him, and I'm so hopeful that it stays that way. We're beyond excited they have slept together on the couch, which is one more reason we really needed to get Blazer to the vet. But anyway, I'll talk about Blazer another time. I want to get into this. So here is what I'm thinking about this. I didn't need to put this whole outfit on here. In fact, I'm thinking now maybe I shouldn't have, but I kind of wanted this to help me outline. I want a big sort of puffy outfit with really puffy sleeves. So I think, you know, her body's about here, and we're going to have these big sleeves. And maybe some sort of skirt. Actually, let's just run it like way over here. And since I don't always like to take the time to draw hands, sometimes I just put pockets on the dress. That's so easy. See if this will come off. Tacky glue glues pretty quickly, as you can see. Let's go ahead and take this off, though. I don't really need it. I don't know why I put it down there, but it was nice to be able to have that to trace an outfit. So let me get my white paint out. I can't believe I grabbed this right away, because yesterday or the day before when I was looking for white paint, I couldn't find it. I mean, I could not find it. I went through everything. That's why I ended up doing the yellow splatters, because yellow kept popping up on top. So maybe that was meant to be. So let's just go ahead and fill this in. I'm going to dry this. Okay, while she is drying, let's take this Stabilo 3-in-1, which I've just fallen in love with these. So we're gonna, I'm gonna be ordering some of these, I think. And I just want to get some color in the background. Look how they blend. What is that? It is something on the page. And then maybe, oh, I brought the new one out here, I think. I found a green one. So let's do a stripe of green. And maybe some yellow. Let's do a big stripe of yellow. And then maybe a big stripe of orange. What else do we have? We have this really pretty gold. That orange is amazing. Look at that. Now let me dry this. Okay, let's go back over this. And her sleeve right here. The dress. We've got these pockets. And I want to actually use some mark making on her clothing. And let's just say, so we've got something like a vest right here. And let's do this. And then let's make a mark right here. Put one on this side, but not the other side. For these sleeves, and we could actually add like a little ruffle. We could also add a big collar. Let's do it like that. This way I don't have to draw a face. I have a beautiful face from a magazine, and I want to add all sorts of marks and colors to this outfit. So let's start with, look at that big collar. I need to figure out what kind of ink I want to use for everything. I love this new pen. Somebody asked about this. This is Artistro Jumbo Tip. You have to really shake this one. I found this at the thrift store, but I looked it up online because somebody asked about, you know, what the name brand is. I think these are poster markers. And I never thought about buying poster markers, but there's so much ink in these. I can see myself buying some of these just to use in the art journals. So hopefully, I think that paint is completely dry. So let's do a stripe of gold. The only thing about a marker this big is that the nib or whatever, the tip is very big. So it's hard to stay in lines, inside lines in really small spaces. So let's do that. And maybe we will add, let's do this little triangle back here gold, and that'll be like the inside of the collar is gold. And we want to be careful to, I don't know that we need every color in the rainbow. I like every color in the rainbow, but I wonder if we could repeat these colors. So let's maybe, oh, and we need to think about maybe adding, so we've got these two lines here. Maybe we could do one here. And let's do the green here. And I'm using a Posca paint pen. I got these when I was at Joann's, and I really miss being able to buy things there because I had my discount, and my goodness, I loved that job. It had struggles. Retail has struggles, let me tell you. Well, I had to call the police when I was there. There are shoplifters, and that's a small percentage of the population. For the most part, 98% of the customers were wonderful. And, I mean, I got to meet local, basically celebrities, musicians, people who would come in for fabric. And it was a very exciting job, but corporate made it really hard to do your job. And then there's always a small population, but I miss that. It was so fun to work in a place where you were surrounded by fabric and art supplies. And I loved my team. We had such a great team. We all stay in touch. We still stay in touch. Okay, so we also used orange, and I think I have a Sharpie orange paint pen. So why don't we do an orange? I guess you wonder when the mark making is going to come in. It's going to come in. I hope. I could be just confusing myself. But I thought if I just made a little inspiration journal centered around mark making, and I know that it's going to find its way into like collage and abstract and all that stuff, or at least I feel like it is. So I think I have, I wonder if some of my Posca pens are inside. So why don't we take, let's take this yellow, because we have yellow here. And do the yellow there. I think I'm just going to leave it as a crayon. I'm not going to wet that. We have this gold, which was here. And we have the different kind of gold there. I'm going to have to buy a sharpener for these. Well, maybe I have one. I don't know if I have a jumbo sharpener or not. I'll have to start looking for one. I got to decide what color to do that. Okay, we have these two colors of blue. So I am going to do, I'm going to alternate those. Oh. So we have that. And then maybe, let's put a blue sleeve over here. I'm going to have to add some water in the center, I think, because the pen doesn't, or the crayon doesn't quite reach all the way to that fold in the paper. I like her. And then I'm wondering, is that the same? We can't use that. Let me go ahead and do this blue over here too. I really like that. And I think it helps us not to have, like I said, every color in the rainbow. Well, we may have every color in the rainbow. How about every color under the sun? Because I'm wondering if sometimes you can just get too many different colors. I don't know. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I don't know much about color theory. I mean, I think we all learn a little bit in school. And I just realized I need to paint the, like, between the arm and the dress, the sleeve and the actual dress. So we had, I need the green one here. I don't remember what I used here. I was thinking it was yellow. Maybe there are two different yellows. I was watching something on PBS the other day, and it was a man, an artist. I think he painted, I want to say he was in New Mexico. But these beautiful sort of religious, I don't know what they were called. It was a really short little segment between shows. But he had a paintbrush he had been using for 30 years. And I thought that was so amazing that he had been using it for that long. And I can see that, because you do get used to using. And the paintbrush he was using, I thought, oh wow, it reminds me, it was just a big bulky paintbrush that looked sort of nondescript, but it was his favorite. And I guess you do get used to using certain things. I feel like I'm going to do some orange in here. I like that bright orange. Oops. Let me go back to this lighter blue to do these little scallops on the lace or whatever. And then we need to add like maybe a sleeve. See, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go with black. Looks kind of strange, but that's okay. This is the part that makes me feel like it's kind of abstracty, you know? Let's start over here, and we're going to start doing our little marks. I kind of feel like she's going to have a playing card vibe. So let's put diamonds here. And let's just keep going back and sort of oh, I didn't need that there. That was already there. I guess I just didn't even notice it. That line right across there, but that's okay because we can do whatever we want to in this book. And let's also take this blue Posca and let's put circles here. I really like her. I feel like she needs a hat. So we'll do that at the last. Here's a brand new Sharpie paint. No, what is this? Oh. Oil-based. It's an oil-based paint pen, and it looks fine tip, which is very cool. Whoa. It is coming out now. Well, since we've got this going, let's just make tally marks. And you know what? Let's do, you know how you count off by fives? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're kind of going, I didn't mean to start on this, but it seems like we're headed in the theme of a sort of a playing card. And I know when you're playing card games, sometimes you keep little tally marks like this for the score. I guess with 500 rummy, or don't you? I don't know. It's been a long time since I played that. So let's just put those there for now. Oh, this plastic needs to come off. That'll drive me crazy. Let's just do some marks on these sleeves. I wondered how it was going to do on the crayon. That's another reason I love to play, is to find out how things work together. Yeah, I think it's going to work better on this one because we've got more of the white showing through. Well, let's get the red again. And let's put the letter Q. Because I definitely think that you can use letters as a mark making tool or repeating pattern, you know. She's the queen. She's the queen of diamonds. Are diamonds red? Yeah. Okay, I feel like so many times with the mark making stuff, I go with circles because it's so easy to collect lids and things. This was the liner in a packaging that had jewelry in it. And now I'm wondering about maybe layering some things, the mark making things. I have so we do have some orange acrylic. I don't know which, I probably should have used the other side. Ooh, I like that. So let's just, I need more paint. I didn't put that much because the last time I used it, I got way too much, which it ended up being a fun page, so I'm not going to complain. There's a little bird out there really talking. And I'm wondering, oh, you know what I should have done? Maybe we can, let's add a couple of diamonds on this side, diamond shapes. They're not, probably not tall enough, but this will dry quickly. I don't want to waste anything, so let's just go ahead and get that last bit of orange and do like that on the edge of the page. And I'm wondering, let's just go ahead and do that. Ooh, I love that. That's really pretty. What I want to do though is maybe add almost like a netting over it with maybe another shape maker, but I feel like I'll have to make something because I don't really have what's in my mind. Okay, I like this box a lot, but I'm always picking up boxes like this. When I say I like it a lot, it's covered in pretty paper, and this is the kind of thing I might have used in a shadow box, but it's the size I need. So we're gonna use it. We're gonna use it for a painty, mark making shape maker. And I just need, probably needs a new blade. It's probably had the same blade for 2 decades. Maybe I can use that for something. So now let's get a different color. Oh, I want this light blue. And I'm just going to come back and maybe I can dip it. I want to make sure it gets all the way around though. I kind of want, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to feel like maybe a net, like some netting or something around these shapes. It would also be neat though to have this in one big piece because it might feel more organic instead of like something I've pieced together. So maybe I could try to connect those lines somewhat. And this is where we're getting into one of the questions I had asked myself: how much can a page take? You know? And I know that's not, oh, it did. I was going to say, I know that's not going to go all the way to the, there. I don't want to stamp right on top of her. That's fine. Now we have a new shape maker. So, that's too much right there. Let me dry this. While I was drying that, I just started looking at this. I think I'm going to bring these little tally marks over into the green because it looks too, I don't know. Maybe part of mark making is knowing where to put it. I like it better coming over closer to her. That's still not completely dry, but it's dry enough. So let's look at some of these. I'm looking for a cue that that I might want to try to make. What is this? Spurred brush stroke Gothic, showing the construction. Numbered arrows show strokes. Dotted arrows show twirling of brush. Oh, interesting. Well, I think for right now, we're not going to get into... The brush strokes look interesting, but I don't know that I'm looking to get out a dip pen or a paintbrush. And it does show different ways that you lay the brush as you turn a corner. Oh my goodness, that's pretty. And look at all the swirls and everything in that. I kind of want just a standard cue, but I'm looking for one that's a little more than standard. Oh, bold display, that's fun too. And it's really playing a trick on my mind that that's a solid circle and it's got the little, just the little tail there or the little line. I still know it's a cue, but I feel like it needs a hole in the middle. Okay, so we're just going to go with, more of a standard cue. Let's put a few more little tally marks here. And what I want to do is do it in red. And we're going to do it right on top of all these marks because I really think, and I'm going to make it a little wider on the sides, I really think one of the things I love about these pages with mark making that I see is how it's just stuff layered on top of other stuff. Not as easy as it looks. So, and then let's make this little, oh, I do like that. She is the Queen of Diamonds, and I'm thinking we're going to outline this with red. Make that more of a diamond, which also makes me think that we should put some blue over that one to separate it from the actual diamond. We could also add, we could color that in, but I don't want to. I like that her sleeve is showing through it. I know that I want to do more over here, and I'm trying to decide what I want to make these marks with. That is a... Is that watercolor? I think it is. I mean, but I don't want that. Oh, I do love that. Let's do some little marks that I didn't invent, of course, but I do love seeing these. Just little circles. And it seems like when you just draw them like this, or just do it with a pencil or whatever. And this is a watercolor. I chose this because I want something that's going to run a little bit when I spray it with water. They all look so, they just look like somebody made marks on a page. I'm going to make that line a little longer. And then I'm going to stagger this one a little bit. Oh, I like the way that looks green. Let's spray those a little bit. Oh, I love that. Let me dry that a little bit. Well, that's not totally dry, but it's dry enough. And I did add some more marks there while I was actually drying. Whoa. Ooh. Is that mark supposed to... I think it goes like that, doesn't it? Is it supposed to go across like that? You know what I should be using? Let's try the Posca paint pen. Oh my goodness. So that's why I have this. I don't know why I was messing up my Sharpie. Because I just wasn't thinking. I think I'm too impulsive sometimes. Oh, I really like those little dots. Just the little dots with the Posca paint pen in black. These, the green marks are just not that bright because I put a paint pen on top of the crayon. The Stabilo crayon, and that's okay. I'm not upset about that. Right, I feel like the only way we're gonna get a hat that's dark enough is to use the paint pen, and then we're definitely gonna add some color. And then I really want something with a lot of color. Let's add blue up here. So we've got the, I can't even think. Caran d'Ache, this really pretty purple. And let's have that just sort of I don't want to get her face. I really think the page needs to be brightened up in some spots. So I'm going to get some white paint. We're going to just put white in there. I just want, there, that's good. This is like one of the fundamental go-tos, I think, is paint splatters, and I don't want them on her face. So let's put this right here. Definitely need some up around the hat. I think that's good. But I do see that I need to come back with this. And there. I wanted that to be just a little bit more defined. I wonder what it needs. I do feel like it could take something else. I love it right now. So what else should happen?